Hi, this is Nia Peeples, and you're rocking with RockMetal Inc.
Cool. Hi, I'm Naycee. I'm reporting for RockMetal Inc. We are here in New York City interviewing the one and only Miss Nia Peeples. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be back here in New York.
Yes. I must say that you are one of my personal favorites growing up, and I have followed your career now for like 30 years, and you've,
It's 30 years.
30 years, right,
old,
yeah. Yes. But I will say that growing up, you know, I'm Pacific Islander, I'm mixed, and I know you're mixed.
Very mixed.
And
confused. Not quite the same thing.
There wasn't too many people that that you could see that was represented, that were Asian Pacific Islanders. And I always looked at you because you were like the ultimate triple threat.
You know something? It's an interesting thing. My whole career I've been just going forward. So only recently have I had reason to kind of turn around and look back at what I had done.
Yeah.
And once you get to that place where you're just a little bit older and people are going, oh my God, I grew up with you. And
yes.
I have a lot of people, and not just Asian Pacific, Islanders, but minorities, come to me and say, you were the character that did it for me, that made me believe that I could.
Right.
Because you were someone I could relate to in terms of the way you looked and where you came from, and you were doing it. And because you were doing it, I felt like I could do it. And so I understood, sort of post having done it, what that meant. And I think that's a kind of a glorious thing, because I think that's how it is with everyone.
But that's how I felt. Because
yes. When I say that's how it is for everyone, I mean everyone is way more powerful than we think we are. So what you're doing right here today, you probably will not understand how powerful it is until years later, how you affect someone, even on passing on the street. Yeah. And so it really made me kind of go, wow, okay, everything I do, I'm planting seeds every single day. And that's how it is for everyone.
But when I saw you growing up as a teenager, I would say, well, she is a person of color. I know, I can identify with her, I can relate, and I think you have inspired a lot of people to follow their dreams. Like Fame was all about following your dreams.
Absolutely.
And to me, I was like, okay, I started taking dance class because, you were all about dancing, and it was just like, oh my God, that whole watching Fame religiously was like that was my show.
That was an awesome show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how was it? There's so much cast members. Jesse Borrego, Cynthia Gibb, and of course Janet Jackson. How was that experience working with those, stars that were going to be future, big icons like Janet Jackson?
Well, Janet was a little bit outside the cast because she came in being so incredibly private.
Right.
I didn't know. I knew she was Janet Jackson, but there's probably tens of thousands of Janet Jacksons. I didn't know she was from the Jackson family. I had no clue. I didn't even know there was a Janet Jackson of the that Jackson family. And she was under a lot of pressure because I remember coming to New York the first time, and there were fans camped outside of her door, and I thought, who is this woman? Yeah. And she carried a huge load at a very, very young age, and it caused her to be very, very private. So she didn't participate with many of us very much. She had a small group of dancers that would really kind of have to protect her and stuff. She was good at what she did.
What about that Fame TV special concert? I remember. How was that experience?
That was actually the first thing that I did before I shot any of the TV series. The first thing I did was that live concert.
Okay.
Nobody even knew who I was. They were like, who is this?
Right.
Because it was a new character that hadn't been introduced yet.
Right.
But it was just a fantastic thing to be at Jones Beach and performing with a live band and dancers and even being in New York. I think that was the thing. As a cast member of the TV series Fame, we were like New York City's babies. We were like, yeah, we were the golden child. That's what we were. Everywhere we went, people bought us drinks, and they were like, you are it. And we would be dancing on the streets, and people would be just piled behind us going, whoa, yeah, go Fame, we love you. Because I think that what the show represented was what New York is all about.
Yes.
It's about your dreams. And it's about a crap load of hard work. Definitely. New Yorkers are not afraid of hard work. And that's what the show was about, so it was pretty cool.
Now, going back to 30 years that you've been in this industry, how do you stay grounded? How do you stay level-headed? I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
It is I think it is for most people. It is really hard. But for me, I don't know how people stay in this business without being grounded and understanding that your value is not totally wrapped up in what you do, because I'm so much more than what I do.
Right.
And unfortunately, the industry that I'm in is all about, what are you doing now? Like, what have you done for me lately?
Yes.
And how much of a trajectory are you on now? It's not even about what you're capable of or even what you've proven. It is for a few people, Meryl Streep, people like that have this body of work. But for the majority of us, it's like, what you've done in the past doesn't even matter. It's what are you doing now, and how hot are you?
Relevant.
That's right. And relevance can mean being on a popular reality show that has nothing to do with acting or.
Well, what are your thoughts about that? Because now everybody's becoming a star overnight, being on reality shows, and they don't necessarily have like any talent. They're just famous for.
Well, they're doing something,
right.
and the thing is, all the power to them. I mean, I'm not interested in that kind of a thing. I'm interested. The reality shows that I'm interested are reality shows that move people to higher thinking.
Right.
That's what I'm interested in. Inspirational things. Because people need help. People need to be inspired. The trashy stuff I don't care about. I just think it sends people in the wrong direction.
Okay.
And people who capitalize on that kind of thing, that's what they got. That's what they got.
Now, what about advice for people that are pursuing, whether if it's singing or acting? I mean, because you've been in the business for so long, what kind of advice would you give to people out there that are still pursuing their passion?
Right. Well, I used to say, look, hone your craft. Never stop honing your craft. If you're acting, never stop going to class. Although I haven't been in a while, I have to admit. But not that long. Whenever I was not on a series, I'd always go back to class. If you're singing, continue singing. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid to do it or not. Your art is a part of who you are, and you have to continue to express that.
Right.
Because the minute you stop expressing that, it just compresses inside you, and it's not a good thing.
Right.
The other thing I would say is that when you do have momentum, do not take that momentum for granted. Because sometimes momentum happens for absolutely no reason other than you're sitting in like a pail of slinging shot. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. You're just going around and around. You just happen to be in that bucket. There's a lot of luck that happens with this. And I think you have to also, especially as a musician, it goes as an actor too, is understand your own unique talent. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't and that you are not good enough or you're not, I've worked a lot, but for every role that I got turned down for 10, 15, or 20. I mean, seriously, you have to find your space. Yes. And those spaces sometimes open up. There have been a lot of roles that I got that they said no to first. They hired somebody else first and then just went, oh, this really isn't working. Call that Nia girl, because we know she's got the chops. What is she doing? And then I come in and do it, and they go, well, why didn't we hire you to begin with? And who knows? People get trapped up in weird things, and you just have to keep being who you are and allowing that to expand.
Now, what about if you're an ethnic minority? Because I know you have to work 10 times harder, for a role or something. I mean, I know today it's a little bit better, but I always feel like you always have to prove yourself, because you're competing like in an industry, especially movies, where a lot of people behind the scenes are Caucasian,
Are you talking about behind the scenes, or you're talking about...
No, in
front of the camera.
In front of the camera.
Well, roles, here's the thing. Roles just don't exist for us. There aren't very many roles. And wait till you get over 50. How many roles are there for 50-year-old women who... They're not there.
Right.
So all you can do is continue exercising your craft.
Okay.
And if you have an agent, get that agent to look beyond the roles that describe you physically the way that you are.
Right.
I mean, I've been turned down for Asian roles. No, she's not Asian enough. No, she's not Hispanic enough. No, she's not this. Why? Because I'm just a little bit of everything.
But I remember you played an Italian in I Don't Buy Kisses Anymore, and I was like, oh, well, wow, because you have that look where you can transcend any kind of nationality, which is...
Right. So
right.
you walk in and you do what you do, and you've got to just break through those barriers and get them to take chances.
Right. Now, I know that you've conquered film. I know you've done television. I know you did soap operas, Young and the Restless, right? And also, I know you've done music. And out of all of those things, I mean, being a wife, a mother, whatever, what has been the most rewarding? Is that a tough question?
That's a really tough question, because I think what happens is there are things that meet you in your life where you are. A role, like fame was one of those roles that met me in my life where I was.
Yes.
And so it became something that I needed to express. And so it was more than important to me as an actress. It was important to me as a person and my growth. So, for instance, now where I'm at, I'm in a TV show called Pretty Little Liars.
Yes.
Which is hugely popular. But the character doesn't have anything to do with where I am, so I'm not able to evolve my personal self through my character. There's a lot of therapy that goes on through acting, I got to tell you. And same thing with music and dance and any of the arts like that. Sometimes it crosses over into your life and helps you in your own personal evolution. And so I can't choose between them, because there have been these spectacular moments throughout my career for me.
Right. I remember also too a big movie that you were in that is a cult classic is The North Shore.
Right.
Yes, and a lot of fans love that movie so much.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that movie?
I love that it's a surf cult classic movie. I mean, when I did it, to be honest, it went into theaters and it was out it was out for a week or two or something.
Right.
It was like, oh, that was my first movie, and it was a huge Universal movie. That was one of those roles. They hired a Hawaiian girl, and 2/3 of the way through the shooting, they just went, we got to let her go. Call Nia. And I flew in, and they said, okay, this movie lives or dies on whether or not you can pull this off. And I just went, oh, that's not pressure. Okay. But it was, there's this little corn dogness to it, if you will, that has allowed it to become a surf cult classic movie. And I love that, because now you have every generation coming up to me, because they'll play it over and over and over again. Right. So now the little cakeys will come up to me and say, hey, Kiani, and it's great. I love it.
And you're a surfer too.
Yes, I am now, yeah.
So I want to talk to you, because I know you're a founder of your own website, The Elements of Life. And I know from what I see of it, it's very motivational, inspirational. I see that you give kind of your perspective on health and beauty and fitness. And I read somewhere that you did it. Your life kind of changed because the tsunami happened basically, and it's almost like you had an epiphany basically, and you just turn your life, around after that.
Well, what happened really was I had gotten to a place in my life, in my career, where I felt like Hollywood could not place the value on me that I felt that I had become as much value, because I had become more of a woman than I'd ever been. I'm more woman today than I was yesterday. And I just felt like they couldn't offer me things that would cause me to use everything that I'd become. And I had been in the business for so long that I wasn't learning a whole lot more. And so I felt like I needed to go out and exercise the other parts of me that Hollywood didn't exercise. Because being a wife and a mom and a capable woman, Hollywood doesn't care about that. They just don't. But those are more of who I am than anything else. And those are powerful pieces to who I am. And I needed to remind myself of that. So when the tsunami
happened,
and earthquake and tsunami happened in Southeast Asia, I went. And I did tsunami relief work out on the Indian Ocean for a month. And it was incredibly dangerous, but it really reminded me of who I am and who I'd become as a woman. And so that really started me thinking about things that I wanted to share with people. You know, throughout my career, I've had women come up to me and say, "Oh, how do you stay young and vibrant?"
Beautiful, because a lot of people want to know, like,
right. But they're really, I could never really answer that question because it's a combination of answers. So I believe that it's what you're born with, that's genetics.
Absolutely.
How you feed it, that's nutrition, and how you treat it, that's a lifestyle. It's a combination of all those things. So do you have to eat really strictly all the time? Well, no. I mean, there are ways to trick your body with food or to feed it certain things and cause these various things to happen. But in life in general, part of the reason someone is beautiful is because they're happy.
Yes.
That's a big piece of it.
Right.
And so you have to have a balance. You can't just starve yourself so that you become thin and think that's going to make you happy. That's not how it is. You've got to feed your body strong food.
Comes from the inside.
It's all of it. It's all of it.
Yes.
You need to know how to feed yourself clean food so that you're not gumming your system up. And you're also feeding it a lot of that good food to give it the nutrition it needs to do what it does. Your body is an amazing thing. And you think about how you cut yourself and it heals itself. What is happening?
Yeah.
You think about giving birth. How did that happen? I mean, our bodies want to heal. And so if we give it the nutrition it needs, it's going to heal. That is the magic, amazing thing of your body. And then exercise, you've got to. The exercise just keeps everything flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. You've got to get it done. But you know what? When it's my girlfriend's birthday, I'm going to have that birthday cake.
Right.
Because that's really important.
You can't deprive yourself.
No, I had a hot dog on the street today. Because I'm in New York and I never eat hot dogs. And I was like, there's a guy on the vending machine with like the little vendor.
Yes.
Not vending machine. The vendor on the side of the road with the hot dogs. I'm in New York with my nieces. They wanted one? Okay. And then I had an ice cream.
It's all downhill now.
No, but it was the process of doing it that was fun. And I'm in New York and I'm okay. And all those other days of working on it gives me the freedom to do this.
The freedom.
So it's really about a balance. And so the website, niaselementsoflife.com, is really about it's geared mostly toward women, although the message is clearly for both.
Universal.
It really, the message is, everybody needs to hear this message, but it's geared more toward women because it's my voice. I think that women are very hard on themselves.
Absolutely.
And I think that people have been pushing a bill of goods on us about how we need to be perfect and how to have the perfect legs and the perfect abs and the perfect husband and the perfect job and the perfect house and everything's organic and everything's green and how do you raise your kids so that they all go to college and graduate. How can we possibly do all of this? It's impossible. We cannot do all of those things. And so consequently, we kind of end up feeling bad about ourselves and beating ourselves up because we're not meeting those expectations. And what that does in turn is keep us from understanding our own unique beauty. And it pulls us further and further away to who we are most uniquely. And in that unique thing that each one of us has a light. If you don't bring that light, your light, into this world, nobody else is going to bring it. It's just, the world is just going to be void of it.
Right.
You're the only one who can bring that light. And if we're concentrating so hard on being perfect the way everybody tells us we're supposed to be, we're not going to be able to bring our light. And this world needs that. This world needs each and every one of us to bring that special gift, that light, that I don't care what it is. Only you know what it is. And so that's what Elements of Life is about. It's a series of 12 30-minute seminars, audio seminars. They're free.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you got to go on there and check them out.
I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't
They're
really...
free. They stream for free.
Okay.
I mean, they're like 99 cents to download, but they're free.
Right.
And they stream. And each one, it's on individuality, faith, courage, passion, forgiveness. There's 12 of them. And there's some exercise and there's some anecdotes from my life, which you will find very interesting. I love the anecdotes. Anecdotes are so great. And they're all meant to help each and every one of us to kind of dig down deep and rediscover or discover by exploring who we are most uniquely and learn to be faithful to that. So that's what Elements of Life is. And people love those seminars. You got to get on there and check them out.
Now, do you go out on like a tour or?
Well, I'm just starting to put that piece together because I really didn't know what this website was going to be. And the way that it started was I was in People Magazine's 100 Most Beautiful People.
Yes, I remember. And you still are. You still got it going on.
But it was for my age group in my late 40s or whatever. And so once that happened, people were coming to me, oh, Nia, you've got to write a book on health, beauty, and fitness, and you've got to give us, we're going to create product to put with that so we can sell that. We want all your secrets on health, beauty, and fitness. And I sat down to write it, and I thought, this is really disingenuous. Because what you're asking me for are secrets. None of this is secrets, A. B, what's working for me now didn't work for me when I was 20 or 30 or 40.
Okay.
Everything changes.
Right.
And it's up to us. You learn some basic truths, but you also have to learn to listen to yourself. And it is not just about food and exercise. It's about so much more. And so that's what turned into the Elements of Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're doing a book, right? So can you talk about your book?
Yes. So the book that I'm writing is called Other.
Okay.
Who Am I Really? And the way I came up with that title was, you know how when you have to check off the nationalities? You're
Yes,
this, you're
I
that,
always put other.
And then you put other, right?
Always.
I love that because I'm kind of like offended. What are you asking me for anyway? You do not even have everything that I am on this list. Mm-hmm. So what are you asking me for? So I just go, yes, 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 and other.
Other.
And also, it's the thing is, you can't define me. My nationalities don't define me.
Right.
What I do for a job doesn't define me.
Absolutely.
None of that. Some of that's what I do.
You define yourself.
That's
right.
That's right. So the book is about identifying the roles that we have identified with in the past and choosing which ones still work for us and which ones don't. Because there are roles that were placed on us, positions in our families that we grew up with. I mean, I was born with the name I have. I didn't even pick my name.
Right.
So there were roles that I accepted in my family that, you know what, that doesn't work for me now. So what am I going to do with that? And so oftentimes you look up and you go, wow, I'm really doing this all the time.
Yeah.
But it's really not who I am anymore. And you have to be willing to let go of what used to work, even if it did used to work, in order to receive the better of what's to come. And so that's what the book is about, learning how to do that.
And when can we expect the book to come out?
Well, hopefully the book will be out the end of the summer.
End of the summer? Okay. Last but not least, where can people find your Elements of Life website? Give all your contact information.
You've got to come over to niaselementsoflife.com and just explore everything. And I'm still developing more and more and more because, like I said, at first I didn't know what it was going to be. And now I'm working with someone that's going to help me develop it so people can have what they want. I know people want these in a DVD or in a CD set.
Right.
So get there, go over to my Facebook and like Nia Peeples, the facebook.com/Nia Peeples. Okay. Because I'm going to be doing some live events there.
Yeah.
I have this whole new technology. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yes,
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like the meet and greet we did tonight.
Yes.
Where everyone can come on and ask me questions, and I'll be speaking to you live.
Right.
Kind of like Skype, but it's on a Google Hangout.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that. And then if you're on Twitter, I'm at Nia_Peeples.
Okay. And what about a message to all your fans that are watching this and, they want to hear something?
I have to say, I adore my fans, and I'm just so thankful for them just being willing to interact with me, because usually what I do is fans will say, oh, you've inspired me my whole life. What you don't realize is that you continue to inspire me. When I hear people say, this record got me out of the hospital, or this did that, it reminds me that what I do counts. Yeah. And by you doing that, you have to know that what you're doing counts. And I so appreciate that. So I love you. Come on over and hang with me.
Can you say a personal message? Because my friend is from LA. He loves you. Oh, my God. His name is David. Can you say, a personal message? Because he would flip.
David, flip.
This is Nia Peeples.
I'm sending you my love.
Hi, Nia. Thank you so much. You have accomplished one of my dreams to interview you. Oh, my God.
You accomplished that.
Well,
you accomplished.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did. But you made it happen. And if it wasn't for you, honestly, I mean, your generosity, you're so gracious, and you're everything that I expected that you are, and then some. Yes, exactly. And I'm like, I love you so much. All right, we're out.
My pleasure.
All right, thank you so much.